And you know, it's funny when you see a man without arms and legs up on stage with a smile, you sort of subconsciously compare your suffering to my suffering, and in your own mind, your conclusion is that, well, you'll never complain again in your life because you can't imagine how it would be without limbs. However, I believe it's worse actually being in a broken home than having no arms, no legs. And I used to say that I believe that the biggest disability of all is fear, but after watching that film, I want to maybe change it up a little bit. I think the biggest disability that we have as human beings is unbelief. Everything starts with a vision, and a man without vision dies. You will have good days and you'll have bad days, but you will always learn something more or something new, and you will learn more overall on bad days than good days. You will learn more about yourself, you'll learn more about relationships, you'll learn about life and principles, and it'll build your character. If you didn't go what you've gone through, you wouldn't be who you are today. And I'm not belittling your pain, and don't worry, I've seen pain in my life, and I've seen not only in my life, but people's lives. And you may have arms and legs, but unless you know three things. Number one, who are you and what your value is? Number two, what is your purpose here in life? And number three, what is your destiny when you're done here? If you don't know the answers of any of those three questions, you're more disabled than I. My parents were Christian, and I hated God. Hate's a strong word. I hated Him. So why did He give me less? What did I do to deserve that? These kids who pick on me at school, they deserve not to have no arms, no legs. Not me. It took me a journey. I asked Him why. Why was I born this way? And it was 7 years later, from age 8, telling my mum that I wanted to commit suicide. I was 15 years old actually, 7 years later, that I read a story in this book, the Bible. And there was a man who was born blind, and no one knew why he was born that way. And I'm like, bing, wow. Pretty similar to something I know of. And I didn't even read on. I didn't even read on at 15. I heard about miracles, and I didn't know where my miracle was.
But I realized something. If God doesn't change my circumstance, He's going to use my life to be a miracle for someone else. When you don't get a miracle, you can still be a miracle for someone else. I'm going to close off with this beautiful story. When I'm 24 years old, 5-6 years ago, I was in California, and I never met anybody else like me. When I was 10 years old, I wish I would have met somebody like me. Never did. Didn't get that miracle. But at 24, in California, I saw a little boy with no arms and no legs, 19 months old, just like me. I knew he was going to be bullied. I knew he was going to go through depression. I knew he would feel alone. I knew that he would get worried if he's ever going to have a girlfriend, and so on and so on. I got the father to bring him up on stage in front of 2,000 people. And everyone was crying. And it was a materialization of when you don't get a miracle, you can be a miracle for someone else. I am not a superhero. I go through ups and downs. So do you. But I hope you are inspired to know that if I can dream big, then so can you. There are no walls. Find your peace, and you'll make your walls doors.